Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing my November TBR video. At the beginning of the year, I set a goal for myself that I wanted to complete at least 4 series that are already finished by the end of the year. I have done the worst job of like any reading year in the history of my life, or so it feels, completing series. I have read so many books and read books 1 and 2 but not 3, or like books 1 through 3 and not 4, or the first book and not the next 2 books in way too many series. So I decided that in November, my kind of theme for my TBR is going to be finishing series. I'm going to try to finish as many series as I possibly can during this month. The one series that I did actually complete this year so far is the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson, and while that was a very long series and is now one of my favorite all-time series, I really want to do better than having read just one series for the whole year. So I don't know, I might also be feeling inspired by my series of series videos. I just have like series on the mind. Series, I keep saying series. These are all the things that I want to read in November. Once again, it's ambitious. Who's surprised? Not me. Okay, so the first book that I'm planning on reading, which is going to be a month-long read and is actually a reread for me, is The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. This one, you guys already know, I announced it in a previous video, but I am hosting a read along for this book and I came up with a reading breakdown. So you can actually join the Discord group if you want to talk about this book with a bunch of other people that are reading it. There's like well over 100 people that are already in the group so far. So I'm really looking forward to discussing it with people. I already read this one. I really loved it, but I wanted to reread it so that I can continue on with the series. Next is actually another reread, and that is The Wicked King by Holly Black. I am continuing along with FaerieAthon with my friends Alexa from Alexa Loves Books, Jane from It's Jane Lindsay, and Mel from Mel to the Any. All 4 of us have been co-hosting FaerieAthon since I think it was back in June when it started. We started by reading Holly Black's Modern Fairy Tales series, and then we read The Darkest Part of the Forest. Last month we read The Cruel Prince. We're actually having our live show for it today. And then next month we will be reading The Wicked King, as well as the next book that I'm going to mention, The Queen of Nothing. That was like way more excited than I normally am. I'm so excited for this finale. This is probably my most anticipated book of this whole year. I have been dying to find out the conclusion to this series. I'm so happy that the release date for this one got pushed up, and I'm really looking forward to reading it along with some of my best friends and then talking about it on a live show for all of you guys to also like join us and tell us what you think. Down below, I will let you guys know the breakdown for The Wicked King for our reading schedule, as well as the live show date for The Wicked King. That one is actually going to be on my channel, so there will be like lots of theorizing about things that we think could potentially be coming in The Queen of Nothing. And then we will wrap up FaerieAthon on Mel from Mel to the Any's channel, where we will be discussing The Queen of Nothing. So excited. Then this one is part of a series, but it's actually the first book in a series, and that is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I always find that November is a good time to continue reading like kind of atmospheric books or things that are a little bit spooky or like thrillery. I like to just like keep that October feeling going for as long as I can before I like dive headfirst into Christmas stuff. So this is one that arrived pretty late because I ordered a copy from Waterstones and it just takes forever to get things from there. That's why I didn't get to it in October, but I'm definitely planning on reading it in November. It follows a girl named Alex who has to monitor the mysterious secret societies at Yale, and I've heard really good things about it from people who have read it. I know that people have mentioned a whole bunch of trigger warnings for this book. I've honestly tried to stay away from all reviews and all mention of anything because I want to go into it as blind as I possibly can. I personally feel like this has the potential to be my favorite Leigh Bardugo book ever. I know that's a bold statement. I'm really looking forward to reading it. I just cannot wait. Next, I'm finally going to be getting to The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. This is another one that I have been so highly anticipating, and I honestly just can't wait to read it. I also pre-ordered a copy of this one from Waterstones, so I'm waiting for that to arrive. I really like the UK cover much better than the US cover, but this just sounds absolutely gorgeous, and I love The Night Circus, so I have no doubt that I'm going to love this book as well. Then another new release and new series that I'm going to be starting is Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the first book in the Ronin trilogy, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. The Raven Boys is one of my favorite all-time series, so I've been really highly anticipating this one as well. I read the short story Opal, which I think was kind of giving us a taste of what's to come. I don't even know what to expect, but I'm ready. Like, my body is ready. And finally, actually moving on into the series portion of my themed TBR that's already all over the place, is I need to finish reading The Toll by Neil Shusterman. This is the third and final book in the Arc of the Scythe series. This is one of my favorite young adult series ever, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it's gonna wrap up. I've already started this one, but I haven't gotten too far into it yet. I kind of ended up putting it to the side in favor of some spooky books that I wanted to get to in October. And I will say that the beginning has been a little bit challenging because of the events of the end of Thunderhead, which you know what I'm talking about if you read that. I need that to be resolved, and it hasn't been resolved yet. So I'm very much looking forward to finishing up this one. Then I want to read Capturing the Devil by Kerri Maniscalco. This is the fourth and final book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. I read Escaping from Houdini over the summer, and I did that in preparation of the release of this final book. So I'm ready for it, and I can't wait to see what's gonna happen and what like the end game is for Audrey Rose and Thomas. And I'm gonna need to find a new OTP because so many series that I love have like ended this year. It's so sad. But I really enjoy these. This one takes place in Chicago, and they're going to be looking for like the murderer at the World's Fair. So it sounds like it's gonna be super awesome. I actually have to read the Becoming the Prince novella that comes before this. That one was released digitally, so I'm gonna do that before I dive into this book. Then this is gonna be one that I really do want to make the effort to get to, and that is Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. This is the final book in the Grisha trilogy. It's the only book in the trilogy that I haven't read. I actually read Siege and Storm, I want to say it was back in January, and I was like, yes, now I can finish this series before the end of the year. And now I'm like, wow, the end of the year is approaching rapidly, and I haven't finished this series. So I really need to do that. This is not my favorite series. I really like Six of Crows a lot better, but I still want to finish it, so I'm gonna do that. I would also like to complete Finale by Stephanie Garber. This again is the last book in a series. It's the last book in the Caraval trilogy. I really enjoyed Caraval, and then Legendary was like a whole new level of love for me. I've heard that it is quite different from the first two books, so I've been a little bit nervous about getting to it, but I feel like I'm now ready to experience this third and final book. And then lastly, I want to make a little bit more progress in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series. So I'm planning on reading book 4, which is Never Seen, and book 5, which is Lodestar. These are the next books that I'm up to in the series. I've been so thoroughly enjoying this series, and this world just makes me feel the way that I felt when I read Harry Potter. I love it so much, and I'm really looking forward to catching up and getting current with the series. The 8th book actually comes out on November 5th. I already have a copy pre-ordered, so I'm definitely going to be getting as caught up as I possibly can, as quick as I possibly can, and then I'll be ready for the 9th and final book, which I don't think that has a release date yet, but I would imagine it'll come out next year sometime. So that is my, once again, incredibly ambitious November TBR. I do feel like I'll do a pretty good job with these because for the most part, they're young adult, and while some of them are longer, I do tend to read young adult quicker than I read like adult fantasy, but I'm gonna feel really good about getting so many series completed. With this TBR, I should make my goal of finishing 4 series this year, so I'll be very happy about that. Let me know if you have read anything that I've mentioned. Let me know if you're excited for any of the new releases that I'm planning on reading this month. And that's all that I have for this video, so I will see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!